Hey YouTube, so it's the next day, it's Monday. So Flower, the owner of the LS swapped Range Rover, gave me this transmission cooler he used to have on the 97, and he took it off before he sold it to me. But since I've been helping get his LS swap shit done, then he just gave it to me last night, so I went ahead and got it mounted up in there. And I bolted it on right here, and then just put a couple self-tappers in so it's nice and solid. Then he gave me these lines, but they've seen some better days. They got drug on the ground or something, I don't know. So I have some other fittings, and he only had this one nice stainless braided line. The other one he was just using this hose. So I deleted that. I got this other line. So I just put that 90 on there. And then I need a straight for over there. And then a 90 for this side. So I've got this 90. So I'm trying to get everything going and get everything together. And these are my two fittings that thread into the transmission with the seals on them. So I pretty much got everything needed to get that trans cooler hooked up, and hopefully I don't lose too much fluid. But just want to give you guys a little update, so y'all stay tuned and I'll give you guys another update once I have it all hooked up. Alright you guys, so been working on it. Got the lines made. I didn't have a straight, so I had to use this 45 for that one instead of the straight, but that one will work pretty good. And this one I use that 90, it's going to go right there. And I've got them all hooked up here. So now all I got to do is undo the actual lines and put my 6A to 6A fittings in there. Get some thread tape around them, thread them in, and then these will thread on. And the trans cooler is pretty much hooked up. But my dad just called and he wants me to come out to his house for a dinner party thing, so I'm about to just throw these in the back seat, and I'm just going to drive the 07 out there. And I'll do this another time, so y'all stay tuned, and I'll give you guys another update once I actually have these on the car. But at least now the lines are made and the cooler's already installed, so it's all good. But yeah, I gotta get this jack picked up and pick up my tools, get those back in the shed, and then I'm just gonna put this stuff in the back seat or something, so that way they're in the car. And got the two fittings, and yeah, so I'm gonna get this thing off the jack, get the jack put up, move this car back some, get all the stuff picked up, go change, and I'm gonna take the 07. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update. Hey YouTube, so that's Tuesday, it's the next day. Just got home from work. I'm gonna jack this thing up, give it a little bit to cool off, and then I'm gonna install these lines and get this trans cooler hooked up. So y'all stay tuned, I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, so I got the 07 started up and moved over there. I got the 06 in the driveway, still letting her cool down. I'm about to open up the shed and grab the jack and the jack stands and get this thing up on jack stands, and that way it'll give me a little bit better access. It's under here. And I've got the creeper in here, the parts car. The creeper's gonna come out. There we go. One of the good things my ex actually got me was this foldable creeper. This thing's awesome. Oh, love this thing. So I'm gonna go grab the jack, get this thing jacked up and on some stands, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so got the 06 up on jack stands, got the jack out of the way, got some tools. I went through with the toolbox and I found the thread tape, so I went ahead and thread taped the threads on the 6AN to 6AN adapter fittings. These are what go thread directly into the transmission up there. So I've got to get the drain pan, get it over here. I gotta get those clips out of the factory drain or factory cooler lines up over there, and then I can pull those factory cooler lines out and try to get these threaded in as fast as possible. So I'm probably going to go ahead and hook them up to the cooler and get them ran over there in place, so that way once I get the old fittings out, then I can hurry and get the new fitting in and hook up the line. That way I'm not losing as much fluid. You can tell that one, it's just going to start dumping. So I'm going to have to be quick with it. But it's coming along. So y'all stay tuned, and I'll give you guys another update here in a few once I get these fittings undone. Alright, you guys, so I've got the lines hooked up to the cooler. And I've got my adapter fittings, my 6AN to 6AN fittings are in the trans with the thread tape. And then I've got my two 6AN fittings. I got the 45 going on this one and the 90 going on this one. This one here, goes to this side. And then this one goes to this one here. So, at least now, it's got a cooler in there. I might have to scoot it up a little bit, so that way it's not blocked, and it can actually get some good airflow. But overall, it's hooked up, so it should at least get some airflow right there. That should help with it some, but until I get the fans working how they're supposed to, yeah, I don't know. Also, I did find, going through the shed, I found a relay with some wiring and a switch. So I might try to wire up this fan wire. When I touch it to the battery, fans kick on. So I might just try to hook this up on a relay to the switch to this wire, to where I can just flip the switch and turn the fans on, and then that way I don't have to worry about it. And then also, if I do this wire that's all taped up, it's the high setting, and that keeps them running on high. So I don't know, I might do that, I might not, I don't know yet. But I've got to pull these old lines out of the radiator over here and get both of those disconnected and pull those lines out. And then transcooler is pretty much, well, it's pretty much already done, but then the whole job will be complete once those lines are out. So I'm going to get those lines out, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so we got the lines off. So I got them sitting over here. I got them sprayed out with brake clean. Took the brake clean and sprayed out both of the fittings. Try to get all the residual leftover trans fluid out of the radiator. Got the lines hooked up. Got everything sprayed down. I'm not seeing any drips, so gotta get off jack stands. Start it up, check to the level. And hopefully I don't have to go buy any more fluid, because I am broke for a couple more days. So I'm gonna get it off jack stands, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so swapped out the filter. I got everything else done. So I went ahead and double checked my lines, and I did zip tie them together, but then I thought about it and I unzip tied them, because if one side's hot and one side's cool, I don't want them touching each other, so that way the fluid will stay cooler. And for now, it's just going to have to ride right there. It's already in there, so I'm going to move this drain pan out of the way and get off jack stands and get her back on the ground and start her up and check the fluid and see what we got. And I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so she's on the ground. Start it up. Over here either. Right. Whoa. Hard to tell. Still looks like it's a little over full, but let's try again. Oh, just under the first dot. So it needs to add a little bit, like a half a quart to a quart. So that's cool. At least now the cooler's running. Cooler's hooked up. So 129 trans temp, not bad. She's running good. Got a check engine light come on this morning, so I need to run that check engine light. Oh yeah, hopefully that will help the trans stay a lot cooler. Oh, that seems to be running good. So now I've probably gotta turn this back off and fuck with this wiring on these fans for a little bit and try to get these fans wired up so that way the fans come on and that'll help keep everything cooler. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I've been working on the fans. So that's my power from the fan, and then I put the ground right there on the radiator support, and then this is just a jumper wire, which I'm gonna have to make this nice and pretty and run it. But I've got the power for the relay hooked up to the fuse box. I've got the ground just grounded right here into the strut tower. This is the trigger power, which I have wired into this fuse, which is for the ignition. So when you turn the key on, then it'll jump that relay on, which will power the fans. And since this is just to turn the relay on, then it's not going to pull the fan power off of this fuse. It's going to pull off this relay from the fuse box, which is wired down here to the battery. So I don't have to worry about blowing out that fuse. It's just a trigger wire. And then the blue wire is the actual what it powers, what it turns on, which is the fans. So now whenever I go kick the key on, the fans kick on. And then it's kind of like on the 07 with the intercooler. When I turn the key off, they stay on until I kill the ignition. And there we go. So now my radiator fan problem is solved. So now I just got to get some electrical tape, get all this taped up and a little more permanent, and maybe get some wire crimps and crimp them and then electrical tape them. But for the most part, she's wired up, the fans are going to work, so hopefully that will help keep the temperatures down. And then now I have the trans cooler installed down there, so that should help also with keeping the trans temperature down. So I think it's a pretty successful day for only a few hours. So I'm gonna find some crimps and some electrical tape and get this all finished up and get the wires tucked away, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, I just got everything wired up. Fans are on. So I just started the car. Just want to see if it'll die with it just sitting here idling with the fan running. And that's also running the fan for the trans cooler. So I just started her up. I'm just gonna sit here and let her run for a few, get up to 10, and see if she stalls out. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update and let you know how she does. Alright, well, she only ran for 9 minutes and then she still stalled out, even with the fans running. So I don't know what the hell the deal is with this car. There's got to be some wiring somewhere, or something's got to be going on. Maybe it's the pedal, maybe it's the throttle body. I don't fucking know. Maybe I'll try swapping the throttle body out again. See if that does anything. I don't know, I'm gonna let her cool off and I'll give you guys another update. Hey YouTube, so today is Wednesday and I just got home from work. I drove the 06 today and that's doing 70 miles an hour down the highway. The coolant temp isn't even up to half. The trans temp's at 159. She didn't die or try to stall out at all. So having that fan hooked up has really helped a lot. Even though it's just the one, that one's not spinning. But having the one is better than none at all. So I'm happy with it though. Good progress. So now I shut her off. See how long it takes the fan to kick off. Just within a few seconds, the fan's kicked off. So that's awesome. So eventually, I will probably take this wire and actually wire it in on the bottom side, like inside the fuse box, so that way it's not sticking out like that. But for now, it works. It's there. The fans come on, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, other than that, everything's going pretty well with the 06. So I'm definitely going to have to get a new tire though. This is the one with the plug in the sidewall. And it's still holding 40 PSI. But it's shaking on the front. And I'm pretty sure it's that tire, because the one on the other side's brand new. So not a big deal. 06 is doing good. The 07's been running pretty good. Let me see if I can get a cold start. She's been sitting since yesterday. Oh, hold on, y'all. Alright, there we go. Let's see if she'll start up. 147,000 miles. Ooh! Because it's 84 degrees outside, so. So then go 92 miles. I went 207 miles in this tank. Well, that's nice. She fired right up. Cool. So 06 is running good, 07 is running good. Something I do need to do today, which is probably what I'm gonna end up doing for the day, is I need to get this out and unwrapped. And I found some supercharger bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some supercharger bolts in here and get everything tightened down, and that way the supercharger will be on there. And I'm gonna have to get another starter, which was one at the storage, but I'm locked out right now because I had to use my paycheck last week to get the transmission and everything for the 06, and I didn't have the money to pay my storage. So I told them I was gonna have to wait a week, and they're like, that's fine, you're just gonna be locked out. So I'm just locked out right now. But I get paid tomorrow, the storage will be paid tomorrow, and then as soon as I can make it back over to the storage, like I said, I have another starter sitting over there in the Grand Am storage, over next to the car on the driver's side. So I'll be able to use that starter with it. That's why I wasn't worried about giving Tommy that old ass crusty one. So no worries. But yeah, I need to get this out and get those supercharger bolts in and try to do some more wiring. And then I also got the sensor for the oil pressure that sticks off the back of the oil filter housing over there. And so I got the one off of an LS, which is the exact same single prong plug one as the Grand Am 3.1 and 3.4. It's just a little bit longer, but that's fine with me, so it'll work. So I'm gonna get that on there. And then I also got some other wiring and sensors and shit whenever I was out there last weekend pulling the transmission for the 06. At the beginning of that video I said, you know, I got that injector harness and that other plug and a couple other things. Well, that was why. So I got all that wiring is for the Grand Am engine, and just trying to make sure I have everything I need to get this thing all fully wired up and get everything connected. So yeah, that's pretty much the main thing, is just looking up the wiring and trying to piece the wires together and make sure all the wires go to the correct place, and get everything soldered and crimped and taped up and fresh loom, and we'll be good to go. So y'all stay tuned, and I'll give you guys another update once I get this engine out and unwrapped. Alright y'all, so David's been helping me clean out the shed and go through some shit, and I found this nasty ass bag. I don't know, it looks like someone threw up all over it, but it has like 2 sets of supercharger bolts in here. And it's like all the supercharger bolts I could need. So that's awesome. Now I've got all the supercharger bolts that I need for the Grand Am engine, and they're the actual bolts and not just some regular old hardware store bolts, which is what the other stuff I have. So, but hell yeah, so now I have all the actual bolts for the supercharger to get it bolted down. So I'm gonna keep going through all this shit in the shed. I'm also kind of just throwing this other engine back together just as a core. It has no crank in it or pistons or rods, but I'm putting everything else junk shit back on it, and that way I can get it out of here, take it to the junkyard, and get a new engine for my mom's car or whatever I end up having to do. But yeah, so I just want to give you guys an update showing y'all that I found the actual supercharger bolts that I needed. And I just threw my phone on the ground, but it's alright, it's already broke. So, yeah, I'm going to keep on cleaning out the shed and getting everything organized and try to get shit stacked in here nicely. And I'll give you guys another update, so y'all stay tuned. Alright, y'all, so it's been a couple hours, but I got this engine pretty much assembled for the most part, just thrown together. I haven't bolted down the upper intake. I don't have the fuel rail and injectors because I sold them. I don't have any of the bolts going in here for the coil pack, so that's just kind of set right there. But I got 2 or 3 nuts and bolts on the front and the rear header. Got one on each side of the crossover pipe just to hold it on there. Upper intake set in place, just threw the plug wires on there. So I got a bunch of shit out of the shed, And now it's all over here and sitting in one piece as a core. And then we've got the shed. We made a shit ton of room. Got a bunch of stuff organized in these totes. I got my other set of headers that were, or factory manifolds, that we're probably going to end up modifying for the 06 for the turbo. And just, my buddy Lucas is going to just help me make my own turbo kit. And just, we found a kit that he's going to try to just copy the crossover pipe, and it will just bolt right in pretty much. So, that's for the turbo kit. I got the spare in here. Got my mom's lawnmower in here. Got a bunch of shit organized. David got a bunch of stuff put up top to make some room. So, got rid of a lot of shit. Organized a lot of shit. Made a bunch of room in here, so my mom will be happy with that. It's kind of a birthday present. Today's her birthday, so happy birthday to my mama. Just got that trunk out of here. It's all fucked up, so I'm going to pull the lights off and just trash that. And then this is all kind of cleaned up. And then up here around the 97, I've got the Grand Am engine sitting over here. I got all the supercharger bolts and the starter bolts sitting up top. I went ahead and threw this other tarp over it just for some extra protection. But David swept all this stuff out and got all the leaves and crap out of here. And we moved a bunch of stuff from over here and all the shit that was up here on top of the parts car, and got everything all out. Yeah, and then David helped me. We drained all the drain pans into the bucket and then filled up these 4 gallons with what was left of the what was in that bucket. So now I get to add these 4 gallons to the collection over here of all my used oil and fluids. All those right there are full of used oil, and a lot of that, like 5 or 6 gallons of that, is all that nasty antifreeze and water from whenever I flushed out the 06's radiator and engine. But yeah, I got a lot of shit cleaned up and made a lot of progress today. The 07's doing good. The 06 was doing good. Tommy came back by, and earlier he said his check engine light came back on, so we ran his check engine light again, and it says catalyst system below threshold. So he's thinking about cutting his cat off, and so I had these couple resonators, and I was like, well, if you cut your cat off, you can weld one of these in place. And so I just got those ready for him. They were just sitting on the side of the house. So I just said, fuck it. If he needs it, he needs it. And yeah, David drove the 97 over here, and it was running good. So it's kind of a rare sight to see the 97 around anymore. Man, I miss this car. She was such a good car. But she has her problems. Oh, look, David got the passenger seat back in there. Hell yeah.
It's not bolted down yet.
Oh.
It's just a place for it to be.
Well, that's cool. I think one of the next things I need to focus on is I need to get this parts car cleaned out. And I need to get a bunch of this shit over to the storage, and then a bunch of stuff out of the shed needs to go to the storage, and then whatever's left over will go into the shed or something, because I need to make some room. And I need to get this car out of here. I need the seats and a bunch of the stuff that's in this car for the Grand Am. And I need to get the engine over there so I can start working with all that stuff. So, I know I definitely need to make some progress soon, because I'm still trying to get the Grand Am done by New Year's. And that's only like 3.5 months away. So I know, I just need to buckle down and really get this shit done, because I already know there's going to be a lot of small stuff that pops up, and I still got to get someone to weld the engine mount bracket to the subframe so I can at least bolt the fucking engine in place how I want to. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video, you guys. Made a lot of progress. Happy birthday to my mama. And yeah, that's going to be it. So y'all like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one. And catch you guys later.